Hey all, Lee here from Pedalboards of Doom, and today I've got a bit of a treat for you and a bit of a treat for me. It's the Vibe Machine by Drybell version 2. It's a bit of a treat for me because I'm not used to using vibes. I've played a few, but I've never actually owned one. The reason for that is when I use a chorus, I tend to use the rate really low but the depth quite high to give it that almost like very subtle shimmer. And I use a wah, so I've never, tremolo does it for me as well. I quite like tremolo, but I've never really got into vibe. I don't know why. This is lovely, but the question for me is vibe an effect of its time? Is vibe a sound that very much did what it needed to do, a bit like the glam rock scene or something along those lines, that isn't there anymore? Does sound good, really does, but is there a place for vibe today? We still use the wah, we still use chorus, although a lot of people say that the chorus is very reminiscent of the 80s, but I still like chorus. Let's see how we get on with this. So today we're going to be using Les Paul. The reason I'm using the Les Paul is because I can coil tap it, so I get the single coil and the humbuckers. You can really hear there, that's with the chorus mode on in the original, because you've got 3 settings on here, the original, the bright and the custom, which I've played with a little bit. You can really hear there where people say that often vibe makes them feel seasick. That really did sound somewhat like we were underwater. Just saying, I like the vibe, but it's not my cup of tea normally. But I do like this is nice. Playing with this earlier, I found that the vibrato mode was really nice for some like jazzy chords, especially if you slowed it down. I'll show you that. Yeah, it does give a lot of movements, as would I don't know, say using a wah pedal, as would using a tremolo. You know, I suppose vibrato and tremolo are very, very, very similar. They're very much in the same ballpark of effects pedals, obviously doing a very different job, but in the same sort of ballpark. Okay, so today's overdrive is a dual overdrive, which is based on two Marshall Blues breakers. Those of you who know about pedals and know what that pedal's based on. Okay, so let's chuck a bit of that on, see how it sounds. Now let's kick that into chorus mode. Okay, so let's try the bright side now. So we've had it on original all this time, we'll put it onto bright and then I'll show you custom. Custom's quite difficult to get too far away from the original sound. I don't know why that is. I did tweak it quite a lot, and but that might just be through the setup I'm using it through. You know, everyone's going to have different sound with this, but that's why we have two amps running and various different guitars. Let's show you the vibrato mode with the bright, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, very much the last thing I'd like to do is kick in the other side of the overdrive to give it a bit more balls and see how it works with a more modern tone. See how it works with a more modern tone. Didn't like that sound very much. You know, I was just trying things. No, I like what it does. I do like what it does. A lot of people must like what it does. In terms of vibes, it must be the best one I've played. And if you're looking for a vibe, not only is that going to be one of the best sounding ones out there, and it's got so many features, so many features. Okay, so there are all of these little holes. See them? And you've got the little screws, and there's some on this side as well. So 6 of the buggers. And on the back, it says all this. So you have at the top, SIM, which it says the symmetry and range are default factory settings. Feel free to experiment, but make sure you remember the original positions if you want to revert back to them. I haven't touched them. Then you've got custom and chorus on this side here. And that says adjust custom impedance to set the brightness of your instrument or the previous pedal. I tried that, didn't seem to make much difference, but it might be the setup I'm using. And adjust chorus according to whether the V-2 pedal is used at bedroom level or with a live band. That's fair play. And then down the bottom, you've got grit on this side and volume on this side. Grit, it says adjust grit to find a sweet spot with your amp or the next dirt pedal in the chain. And adjust volume to set your preferred effective volume. Overall volume cannot be reduced to silence. That's pretty cool. So you've got all them in there. It's 9 volt DC. At least I bloody well hope it's 9 volt. Oh, it can take up to 16. That's odd. It can take up to 16 volts. See that? 16 volts. Come on. Yeah. 165 milliamps. So this is the V2 version. It comes with another switch, which I didn't have a lead long enough to use, but this effectively turns it into a tap tempo. So that's pretty cool. They come together as a set. Oh, actually, no, I think you have to buy this separately. That's interesting because it's only a switch. It'd be interesting to see how much that is. A lot of companies charge a fortune for switches, especially if it matches. But, you know, this isn't a cheap pedal either, but it's a bloody good pedal. I've got to give a big shout out to WD Music. Those guys are absolute legends. They have, they took my Les Paul, they did all the switching for me. So 4 coil taps on there. This humbucker wasn't coil split, and they rewound it for me and coil split it. Brilliant, brilliant job. They really did. They put new switches on it for me, new capacitors and these sort of things. Yeah, you know, absolute legends. Great price for it as well. Really are. They're based over in Ashford. You can send them things, they'll do things. So they work very closely with the Kent Armstrong pickups, and you know, it's all interlinked, all family. So yeah, it's really, if you know about them, you know the quality of the work. They do all the bits for your guitars and these sort of things, so like the little knobs and stuff, and anything you could want for your guitars. So yeah, I've got to give a big shout out to them because they did that and they lent me this to demo. So why not give them a shout out? Big thumbs up to those guys. What can I say? There's nothing about this pedal that I don't like. There's nothing about the actual, what it does. Lots of options. I like lots of options. I do. A lot of people don't. So if you don't like lots of options, you know, don't get it. But I do. However, let's say this. This is one of those pedals that sounds very, very good no matter what you do to it. But if you get one of these, I've got a funny feeling you'll set it up, you'll spend a couple of days setting it up, getting it exactly how you want. After a couple of rehearsals, you might tweak it once or twice, but then you'll never touch it. But you'll never change it. That's what I reckon. For me, I don't like Vibe. No, I don't dislike Vibe. It's just a lot more very exciting sounds out there. One day, I bet I'll have about a 2-year love affair with Vibe. Most likely. But it ain't going to be today. But yeah, I really like it in terms of what it does. So yeah, 2 thumbs up. And thank you for watching. See you all again next time. Bye bye.